So today, I think I said it like briefly in the email. I thought we'd look a little bit of moving with breath again, because we kind of dip in and out of it usually. So we're going to take probably a slightly more like usual, traditional, regular sort of style of class, I suppose. And yeah, just try and focus on this moving with the breath, or the quality of the breath. Because I know that it can be quite easy sometimes when we get into that kind of like, right, I'm on a power yoga, I'm going to do, you know, like a regular vinyasa class, because it's quite strong, we breathe, and also being sort of led to breathe in a kind of like a ujjayi, a louder, a stronger way. But we're going to sort of flip it. So even if the movements are getting a little bit stronger, can we still keep a breath that's really calm? So this idea of giving yourself breathing, I haven't thought this through, have I? Breathing with the kind of the quality and the energy that you would like to create. So if you're breathing like loud and strong and short and fast, how's that going to feel, and how's that going to translate into your movements? Whereas if you can still try, and it isn't necessarily about nailing it all the way through, but try and keep kind of a really calm, spacious breath, so then your movements maybe have almost like a slightly lazy, perhaps, quality to them, but so you're giving yourself time and space, and there's like a bit of a nonchalant vibe, like, oh, I'm just gonna pick this leg up, I'm gonna put it there, and it's fine. So there'll still be probably times where we're not moving so much with the breath, or I guess it's a disclaimer that I might forget to cue, but trying to keep that same kind of quality. And generally speaking, the in-breath is going to bring perhaps more of a sense of lift and space, and the out-breath is going to be a slightly more grounded, slightly more weightier energy. But if you close your eyes, get comfy, all that jazz. So find any comfortable seat to begin with. Close your eyes and do have a little wiggle around. Maybe roll the shoulders, turn the head, just have a moment to move, to kind of get that out of your system before you settle into some stillness. And as always, we're looking for the lower body, your foundation, to be nice and stable, comfortable, so that then there's no tension and gripping to keep the rest of the body upright. It can just kind of rest. So maintaining the natural curve of the spine. We don't have to be ramrod straight. We still want a little bit of softness. So we've got this downward energy, this kind of surrender, this release to gravity, to perhaps moving or softening downwards. You've got your eyelids, your jaw, your shoulders, your pelvis, your legs. And then this gentle upward lift, or upward rising perhaps, of the spine. If you take your attention to your breath, to wherever, as always, wherever you feel it the most easily, the most readily. That might be movement, perhaps around the chest or the tummy. Might be feeling the air as it moves in and out through your nose. It might be something totally different, but wherever you connect with it the most easily, just keep paying attention to that place or that sensation, that feeling. Just being a little bit mindful at the moment that we're not trying to create anything. We're not trying to create a big movement. We're trying to tune in to perhaps to a slightly more subtle, more natural element of the breath. And seeing if perhaps you can start to notice the energy, the direction, the feel of both the in-breath and the out-breath. And I've already mentioned perhaps an idea of space, of lift, or of opening with the in-breath, and a releasing, a weight, a grounding to the out-breath. And it may be that you click into that. It might be something different for you, and that's totally fine. So all I can do is kind of guide and share from my experience. And if yours is different from that, stick with what you're feeling. And start to see if perhaps there's a little bit of space to make the breath slightly longer, slightly slower. But without creating tension. And we're not looking to push the boundaries of how long and how slow we can make our breathing. Just a little bit softer, sorry, a little bit slower. And just making sure that the jaw is soft, that the collarbones, the shoulders are heavy. You might notice sometimes that you have a few rounds of breath that feel very slow, very long, and then perhaps you almost feel like you lose breath and it gets a bit shorter for a while. Again, also completely fine. If you notice changes or shifts, can we approach them with a sense of almost non-attachment? We're not too attached to the idea of having to breathe as long or as slow as we can continuously. As always, anytime you realize that you're kind of lost in thoughts, just trying to bring your attention back to wherever it is that you notice your breath the most easily. And if there is a particular thought or concern or something on your to-do list that keeps arising, or is that is on a bit of a loop maybe in your mind, perhaps spend a couple of your breaths using your exhale to try and release, let go of that particular thing. If it's really important, it will still be there when you finish your practice, but we don't need it for the next hour or so. You're welcome to stay still, just observing your breath. Or if you're ready for a little bit of movement, just starting to move the neck, maybe the shoulders as well. Getting a sense of how your body is feeling. Starting to gently perhaps warm it up. You might find that you start to fall into a bit of a pattern of moving with your breath in some way, or it might be a little bit more jumbled, a little bit more fluid. As long as you are not holding your breath, as always, that's fine. And trying to breathe in a way that, again, encourages a sense of being calm, there being a bit of softness or weight perhaps to the body. And these initial movements might stay quite small, but if you want to make them bigger, And go ahead, it's not about doing a particular thing in a particular way, but about moving in a way that feels good. Make sure you have spent a bit of time to get the shoulders moving in some way. And when you're ready, you're going to take it into a side bend. The left hand's going to come down towards the mat and the right arm will come up and over the top. You can adjust your seat if you want to. Think about that top arm being integrated, so from the fingertips all the way down toward the pelvis, so it's not stopping at the shoulder. And then starting to make some circles with that top arm. Maybe 3 or 4 times in each direction. Again, we don't want anything to become too rigid or too fixed. Are you breathing? Maybe there's a sense of, again, that circling action, moving with your breath. I'm sort of inhaling as it completes half the circle and then exhaling to return to the bottom. When you're ready, when you've done your circles, just coming back to neutral, having a moment to check in with sensation, maybe through the side of the neck, the shoulder, maybe you're feeling it down through the waist, over the side of the ribs. And as you feel ready, just switching sides, the same thing, taking your side bend, left arm comes up and over, and then when you're ready, circling that top arm. And if that arm is very straight, very active, that might feel quite different if the elbow is bent and it's a little bit softer. That might change perhaps the intensity of the sensations or even where you feel them. If it's a bit clunky, a bit crunchy, and notice if you hold your breath in those kind of slightly less enjoyable, less smooth parts of your circle, so you can keep breathing. And again, when you're ready, just coming back to center. Again, little pause to allow all of that sensation to just settle into the body. To come back and focus on your breathing again. And chances are that there will be times through this practice where your breath will change and it will suddenly be doing something different, or it will feel like a struggle to breathe in a particular way. And part of perhaps yoga practice is to build this kind of adaptability. So if our breath starts to change and do something different, or we notice that suddenly we are slightly holding our breath, or our breath has become shorter, again, can that just become a part of our practice? So it's not that we're doing something wrong. If possible, it's not a source of frustration, it's just something else to notice. Same way that in our body we're looking for this balance of flexibility, of ease, of space versus strength and support. We're also looking for this balance of being kind of relaxed. I use this word at the start, nonchalant. It doesn't really matter too much. Of allowing the breath and the body to adapt and maybe to do what it feels it needs. But similarly, there'll be times where we're going to bring a little bit more focus, a little bit more perhaps determination or strength of mind. But when you're ready, starting to make your way into a child's pose. As you settle into your child's pose, arms reaching forwards if that's comfortable. Again, just take a moment to connect with your breathing. And when you feel ready, the in-breath is going to bring the bum away from the heels, shift forwards. And the exhale is going to bring the hips back toward the heels. The inhale brings you forwards, and the exhale takes you back. You might start to play around with perhaps a bit more of a wave of the spine. If you're going perhaps for a little bit more strength, you might want to start to bring in a little bit of a bend of the elbows as you shift forwards. Or maybe you're moving into a little bit more of a back bend. You might be sort of playing around with any one of those, but seeing if you can maintain that movement with your breath. And there might be certain parts where, again, the breath becomes a little bit held. And what is it perhaps that makes that happen? Maybe you find that the breath kind of has a little pause if you pause in a particular part of your movement. Maybe it's to do with requiring a little bit more physical effort. Maybe it's just blind panic. all totally viable answers or viable responses. When you're ready, starting to come just to an all fours position, tabletop position, so you can keep a little bit of a connection to your breath, and then moving into cat-cow when you're ready. So the inhale, lifting the sit bones, rather opening the chest, and the exhale, tucking your tailbone and closing the front of the body as you press the spine to the ceiling. You breathe into that cow pose. Can there be a sense of space at the low back? Does it feel quite easy to match the length of your movement to the length of your breath? Does it take a little bit more effort, a bit more concentration? Has the quality of your breath or the feel, the sound even of your breath changed in any way? Coming back to a neutral spine, a breath in to tuck your toes, lift the hips, and a breath out to settle it a little bit more into your down dog. So taking time as always to move, to pedal out the legs or sway the hips, to try and create a little bit more ease perhaps through the shoulders, the low back. Maybe it's more challenge, a little bit more intensity that you're after this morning. Again, keep an eye on your breath. Have a moment to settle into some stillness. Take maybe 3 or 4 rounds of breath just in stillness in your down dog. So it's still, but there's still a sense of life within the body, so we don't suddenly grip or tense up if possible. And then like we did from our child's pose to our sort of all fours position, the in breath is going to bring you forwards towards a plank position. And the out breath is going to take you back to your down dog. And exactly the same as before, if you want to maybe get the spine going a little bit more with some waves or some rolls, if you want to add in a little bit of a sort of press up, if you want to move it more towards an upward facing dog. Again, trying if possible to keep a bit of focus on matching your movement to your breath, or just observing that relationship between movement and breath. Again, when you feel ready, just lowering the knees down to the mat again, either taking a child's pose or sitting up onto the heels, just to take a second to pause, to find some stillness, and just to take the weight out of the hands as well. So if they need a bit of attention, a bit of love, have a moment to shake or stretch them out. If you're in a child's pose, just take a moment to sit up onto the heels and bring your attention to the center of your chest. That helps to bring a hand or the tips of the fingers there, then do it. And as you breathe in, maybe there's a sense of the chest just slightly rising, just a touch, or again, expanding, and then releasing, softening with the out breath. It might be very, very subtle. So we're trying not to lift the collarbones or lift the shoulders as we breathe in. Another visual that perhaps might work is one of a light or a brightness or a warmth that increases, shines brighter, gets warmer from that chest, that heart space with the in-breath. And just dims or softens slightly with the out-breath. Again, there might be something different, a different set of words or feelings or visuals that kind of click a little bit more easily for you. And if that's the case, stick with your thing. You're going to move yourself into a child's pose again when you're ready. Turn the palm of the right hand up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, drag that right hand back towards the back of your mat. And as you inhale, lift the hips, circle that right arm all the way overhead. As you exhale, drag the hand back, hips drop down to the heels. And inhale, circle the right arm wide. The exhale takes the hips down, pulls the arm back. We're closed within the body. And the in-breath, we're opening, reaching, extending. One more time. And you're going to switch sides. So the exhale drags the hips and the left hand back. The inhale circles the left arm over. And the pace, the tempo that you're working at is whatever feels right for you. Not too worried about whether it's fast or slow. Trying to match movement to breath. And then bringing left hand to the top of the mat. Take it into a downward facing dog. So we're going to move through a few rounds of vinyasa. Feel free to take any kind of adaptations or variations that you want to take. First one, maybe we don't move with the breath, and then we'll start to layer it up. So when you're ready, if you're taking your own version, then go for it, but otherwise shifting forwards to your plank position. Maybe dropping the knees as you lower the chest down. You might be ready to get straight into an up dog. It might be something a little bit smaller, and then back into your down dog. So we're going to move through, I would say, probably 4 or 5 rounds, more realistically. Trying to match movement to breath. So the inhale is bringing you forward to your plank. I'm sure you know this. The exhale to lower. The in-breath to find your back bend. And your exhale into your down dog. Give yourself a round or 2 of breath once you're back in your down dog to reconnect with your breathing before you go again. And we're trying the inhale to bring you forwards. If possible, to move with a calm, continuous, easy breath. It's really easy for that kind of vinyasa sequence to get a little bit tight or fast or sort of, I don't know if tense is the right word, but can we keep it slow, smooth, and effortless? The inhale to come forwards. Exhale to lower, which isn't rushed, even though we might want to. Great. If you can, you're going to go for one more. And check in with your breath before you move off. Quality of breath, quality of movement, giving yourself time to move. This time, once you're back in your downward facing dog, just start to walk your hands back toward your feet till you find a forward fold. Have a little moment there. And it could be quite a strong forward fold if you want to catch a vine, if your body's feeling ready for that. It might be something a bit softer, a bit more ragdoll. And then making your way gradually up to standing. Next, once you get up to standing, just shake anything out that needs it. And then you're going to bring what you're going to bring? The back of your right hand to the middle of your back, palm facing outwards. You're then going to take your opposite left arm and catch hold of maybe I think it's the forearm. No, the other bit, the upper arm. Maybe down towards the elbows. Try and soften the shoulders, and then just slightly trying to draw that right elbow forwards without scrunching the shoulders forwards. You're going to release, but keep hold of that right elbow. The right hand's going to come up from above. I still haven't figured out how to say that in a way that makes sense. So you're holding on with the left hand to the right elbow, just lightly encouraging perhaps that arm to move a little bit further over, or the hand to reach a little further down. See if you can lift the chin away from the chest. Little bit of activity in the front of the body so that we're not sitting too much into the low back. Plant the feet, a little bend in the knees as you lift up and over into a side bend. So we still want the abdominals to be quite firm. You might feel the weight shift into your left foot. Extend both arms in the direction of your side bend. Come back to standing and release, second side. So back of the left hand, the center of the back, palm facing outwards, and the right hand's coming across. Try to sort of soften the shoulders a little bit, draw that left elbow forwards, maybe check in with the neck and the jaw. Taking it up and over for your tricep stretch. Then trying not to let too much go in the front of the body. Check in with your breath. Again, planting the feet about hip distance apart, a little bend of the knees, keep that bit of control, stability around the low back, or the abdominals rather, lifting up and over into your side bend. Again, try and just tuck those bottom ribs in a teeny bit. Extending the arms in the direction of your side bend. Might need a bit more support again. Coming up to standing. Releasing the arms, interlace them behind you this time. Try and keep heels of the hands close together. If possible, roll the shoulders back, lift the arms away. Again, neck is easy, jaw is relaxed. Check in with the legs as well. If you suddenly locked everything out, they become tense. Can you soften just slightly at the knees, or this idea of softening the soles of the feet, which I quite like. Good. Release the hands. Take them all the way up to the ceiling. Interlace your hands. You're either going to release maybe your index finger or keep the hands up, lock the thumbs, some kind of like bind. Taking the arms all the way up and a little bit back behind you. Again, just checking in with the low ribs. Seeing is it possible to bring chin away from chest. Try not to get too locked and too rigid. I'm a permanent shuffler. I find that helps. And again, releasing, giving the shoulders a couple of rolls. And you're going to make your way back into a downward facing dog. So maybe you're going to roll down. If you want to take a vinyasa, of course you can do. Finding gradually your downward facing dog. Check in with your breathing, and you're going to inhale to lift or float your right leg rather, and exhale to lower the toes down to the floor. Same thing again, in breath, easy, calm, effortless, lifts the right leg, then exhale, lowers it down. No kind of throws, keep that going, or stops. Smooth, continuous breath, smooth, continuous movement. And again, you're going to lift that right leg with the in-breath. Step it outside of your right hand with the out-breath. Drop the back knee, pause, check in with your breathing. As you inhale, right arm lifts. And as you exhale, back of the right hand wraps underneath left arm. Sinking the chest, that's it. Inhale, open it up, twist, push down to the left arm, float the right, and exhale to wrap under. Chest sinking, a little bit of lizard action. 2 more times. Moving with your breath. Quality of breath, quality of movement, so we're not jarring or forcing. Get 2 hands to the top of the mat. Take your time to make your way into a plank position. There'll be an inhale in your plank and an exhale to start your vinyasa, to bend the elbows. Inhaling to your back bend and exhaling to your down dog. Give yourself a bit of time there again, just to kind of catch up with yourself. And when you're ready, the inhale is going to float your left leg. And the exhale is going to tap it down. Can the movement and the breath be the most important thing, that matching, that kind of marrying up? And then again, the inhale will float the left leg, and the exhale will step it outside of your left hand, dropping the back knee, finding your breath once again, and then the inhale will lift your left arm, and the exhale will wrap it back of the left hand underneath the right arm or right armpit. Inhale to open, find that space across the chest. And the exhale to sink, to soften, a little bit of a hug of the glutes if you need it. 2 more times. Inhale to open. Exhale to fold, to release, to move down. 1 more. And then again, planting 2 hands top of the mat, stepping back into your plank pose. There'll be an in-breath there. And as your out-breath arrives, that's going to move you toward the mat, chaturanga, and through the rest of your vinyasa. Checking in with your breath once you find your down dog. An in-breath will float your right leg, and an out-breath will step it forwards. Inhaling to float fingertips towards a sky-high lunge. And exhale to just settle into it a little bit more. You're going to pause there. Try and release any tension in the arms, the hands, the shoulders. Just focus on what's happening around the hips. 1 more breath in. As you breathe out, ground your back left heel, warrior 2. Inhale to straighten right leg, exhale to bend right knee. A couple more times. Inhale to straighten, to lift, exhale to bend. And again, 1 more time. You're going to pause in your warrior 2, right knee bent, take a breath in. As you breathe out, hands find the floor. Inhale to plank, effortless, easy. Exhale to lower. Inhale up dog and exhale down dog. Free from tension, free from stress. When you're ready, Left leg will float up with the inhale, and we'll step forwards with the exhale. Breathing in to float the hands high, and exhale to settle into that. From the ball of the back foot, no kind of tension, reaching up with the shoulders, the collarbones, the softness. One more breath in. As you breathe out, ground your right heel, warrior two. Again, as you inhale, just 3 times, inhaling to straighten the left leg, exhale to bend. Sorry, I've got my back to you. Again, inhale to straighten, exhale to bend. The inhale creates that gentle lift, and the exhale provides a grounding. Inhale in your warrior two, pause. Exhale to plant the hands. Breathing into your plank. Breathing out to lower. Breath is calm. It's easy, it's soft maybe. Pause in that downward facing dog. When you're ready, an inhale will float your right leg. An exhale will step it forwards. The in-breath brings you to high lunge, arms up. Exhale, warrior two. Take a breath in there to find some length in the spine, and a breath out to find your side angle. Little pause. Take another breath in. As you breathe out, maybe right fingertips reach the floor. Keep breathing, maybe the hips can soften in a little bit more. One more breath in. As you breathe out, left hand comes down, come onto the ball of the back foot, keep breathing. Use an inhale to lift your right arm, find a twist. One more breath in there. Breathe out, plant your right hand down. Step back to plank pose with the in-breath, vinyasa, exhaling to lower. Inhale, up dog. Awesome work, guys. Exhale, down dog. Little pause. I'm going to spin myself around. Checking in with your breath. The inhale will float your left leg. Don't rush it. And the exhale can step it forwards. Fingertips rise with an inhale. Sorry for what I was saying. Exhale, warrior two. Ground your heel. Inhale to lengthen the spine. Exhale, side angle. Forearm to thigh. Or maybe you go straight away, fingertips to floor. If you're not there already, breath in, breath out to take those fingertips down. Keep breathing. Maybe the hips soften in a little bit lower. Can you keep your breath in that same rhythm, same quality? Is it possible? Or perhaps just observing the change. One more breath in. Breathe out, plant the right hand, come onto the ball of the left foot. Use an inhale to float the left arm, find your twist. One more breath into that twist. Before you breathe out, plant left hand. Inhale to high plank, step it back, and exhale to keep moving. We're going to take exactly the same again, maybe just move through it again a little bit quicker. Can we literally go one movement to breath? I'm just spinning myself around. When you're ready, finding your breath, right leg lifts. The inhale floats your right leg. The exhale steps it forward. Breathe in, high lunge. Breathe out, warrior two, grounded. Inhale, a little bit of lift. Exhale, side angle. Maybe you're straight into fingertips to floor. Another breath in. Breathe out, plant the left hand. Inhale, right arm lifts, twist. Exhale, release right hand down. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Pause. Find your breath. Is it possible to just move it down slightly from the chest if it's getting a little bit short, a little bit stressed? Whenever you're ready, the inhale will float your left leg. The exhale will step it forwards. Inhale to rise, high lunge. Exhale, ground your back heel, warrior two. One breath in, lengthening, ease through the spine. Exhale, side angle. Take a breath in. Exhale, right hand down. Breathe in, left arm lifts. Breathe out, left hand down. Good, guys. Inhale, high plank. Exhale to lower. Inhale, up dog, exhale, down dog. When you're ready, looking towards the top of the mat, starting to creep the feet forwards, and coming up to standing just for a second. So, we're going to be moving, excuse me, in fact, just stand on any leg, doesn't matter which, hand on hip of standing leg, either peace fingers around big toe, or hand to back of knee, or hand to foot. Just take a little moment to catch a balance. Bit of a stretch, that lifted hamstring. We're going to do both legs, it doesn't matter which side you've got at the moment. Ground down through the standing leg, strong and stable, effortless through the spine. No effort across the collarbones, shoulder blades drawing down. Carry that leg out toward the side. As you move it out, push down more through the standing leg. Okay, so when you're ready, letting it go. Little shake, little shimmy before you move into second side. Think about your drishti, your focus. So choosing something to look at and really finding it, really seeing it, to hopefully help the mind to become a little bit quieter, a little bit more focused. Pushing down through the standing leg, grounding down to create an easy kind of lift above that. Shoulders are down, carrying the lifted leg out towards the side. As you move, trying to again really root down through the standing leg, draw the shoulders down. And a slow release. Okay, so feet are going to be about hip distance apart. We're going to work this relationship of keeping the body really close to the thighs. It's going to be really probably quite unenjoyable, but that's fine. So you're going to come into your forward fold, feet apart-ish, body resting on the thighs. You're going to shift onto your right leg. Keep your body on your left thigh, your left knee pulling in towards the chest. Come up to standing. Keep trying to bring that left knee up higher. Keep this quite close, body to thigh, as you slowly come back down, put the left foot down, switch sides. So you're picking up the right foot, but you're still in that kind of fold. Coming up to standing, bringing that right knee with you. Keep trying to squeeze the right knee up towards the shoulder. Try and keep body and thigh close together as you set the foot down. I'm tapping out because I've got, my back is gowny today, so anything forward fold is not so good for me. So take your time. I would say keep your eye line down to the floor if you can, maybe. Yeah, nice, Jen, good. That's it. As you bring yourself back down to the floor, you want to slightly feel the weight shift back into your standing heel. Just gonna, hopefully will give you a little bit more stability. Good, guys. Yes. Nice, Becky. That's it, Hayley. Awesome. Ace, nice work, guys. I feel like that's probably enough of that. Am I right? Cool. Okay, so top of the mat. Give the legs a bit of a shake. Pick up your left leg. You're going to step back into a warrior two. So this is your in breath. Your out breath is going to ground you into your warrior two. Inhale back to where you came from. Exhale, warrior two. There's quite a lot of movement to fit into one breath. And again, inhale, bring it forwards. Exhale, warrior two. Arms are doing whatever you need. Inhale, forwards. Exhale, warrior two. Stay there. Stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there. All right, so moving into your side angle. So right toes are towards the top of the mat, left toes towards the long edge. Into your side angle, and if possible, we're working for a bind. So right fingertips maybe to the floor or block. If you know what you're doing, go ahead and do it. Otherwise, that top left arm, turn the hand around so the palm is facing the wall behind you. Bend at the elbow, and the back of the hand is going to find the outside, if possible, the back of the fingertips outside of your right thigh. So you can drop your right shoulder on the inside of the right knee, reach that right arm under and catch fingertip to fingertip. Nice. If you've got that bind, see if you can maybe bend your right knee a teeny bit more, squeeze the hips forwards, and roll particularly left shoulder back. Nice. Keep breathing. Nice. And you're ready. Release. Well done, guys. Bring yourself all the way up. Take a breath in at the top. This time as you breathe out, step forwards, top of the mat. Doesn't have to be elegant. Awesome. Okay, so switching sides. Standing on the left leg, pick up your right foot. This is your inhale. The exhale is going to ground you into your warrior two. The in-breath to balance, brings you forwards, floats the right leg. And the exhale grounds you, warrior two. And again, keep that going. Oh dear. Left leg is firm. Couple more. And again. Let's say this time or next time you land in your warrior two, pause there. Well done, guys. Move it into your side angle. So maybe left fingertips towards the floor, that right arm, the palm turns to face the wall behind you. You're bending at the elbow, trying to find the outside of your left thigh. See if you can drop left shoulder down behind the left knee. So your left arm can reach underneath that leg and catch hold of your fingertips. Now see if you can squeeze the hips slightly further forwards maybe. Roll the right shoulder back, keep breathing. Nice, and when you're ready, releasing, rising up. Take a breath in. This time use an out breath, a bit of extra power to stand at the top of your mat. Okay, bird of paradise. Huzzah! Let's just get there. So top of the mat, keep the right toes pointing forwards. You're moving into your side angle with your bind on that first side. If you haven't got the bind, you've got a couple of options. If you know what you're doing, you're going to get yourself into your bind. Otherwise, again, top hand, left hand around the back of the body, right shoulder, back of the right knee, and catching fingertip to fingertip. Otherwise, left hand around the back of the body to catch or touch top of right thigh, right hand comes to the back of the right knee. Wherever you are, you're going to look towards the top of your mat and shuffle or step your left foot to the top of your mat as well. Shift the weight onto your left leg, pop your right heel. That's it. Find your balance and slowly you're coming all the way up to standing, bringing that right leg with you, rolling the shoulders back. Find your balance. Find some calm, maybe. Good, nice, I'm all done. And then maybe just stretching out that right leg, just a touch. Good, breathe. Nice, and when you're ready, well done, let it go. Excellent, nice work, you guys. Get the shoulders, the roll, the hips, everything still attached where it's supposed to be. Yes, let's go. Second side, I say let's go. You can go second side. So, standing at the top of the mat, the left toes are going to stay pointing forwards, right leg steps back. And again, you're going to make your way into your side angle with your bind. Again, if you haven't got your bind, so we definitely want that top arm to come around the back of the body. If the left hand can't come through and catch right fingertips, then take your left arm around the back of your left thigh and catch hold of the back of the knee. That's it. You look towards the top of your mat, step that right foot forwards. That's it. Take your time. Shift the weight onto your left leg. Is that what I mean? Onto your right leg. Sorry, pop the left heel. Nice and good. Awesome work, guys. Nice. Well done. When you've had a bit of a moment there, just let it go. Excellent. I'll throw Mr. Burnsy with me, sorry, nice. Okay, so let's not do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. No, yes, yeah, okay, cool. So Once more on each side. So right leg, bonk, 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 bonk. This time, as you get there, and if you're like, do you know what, I don't want to do it again, then just take maybe a standing hand to knee or standing hand to foot like we did prior to that. And see if you can focus on a sense of, can you connect to your breath again in a similar way as you have been? Can you find a breath that feels calm and slow, that brings a bit of calm into your bird of paradise? Does it change anything if you're able to slightly adjust your breathing? But when you're going to take a moment to switch sides, can you carry that kind of calm breath all the way through? So you manage to find it on that first side. Can you keep that calm, keep that breath with you as you find your setup, as you move into whatever variation you're taking, so that we don't panic, get there and then go, oh shit, I've got to try and breathe. There's a lot going on, but can we still sort of be a bit nonchalant about it? Word of the day. Nice, and again, whenever you're ready. Nice, Amber. Real. And then in true Hannah fashion, we're going to go straight from peak pose to Shavasana, because I spent like forever warming us up. So lie down, guys, lie down. Sorry about that. But lie yourselves down, have a little moment to get down there, and maybe to hug the knees in or take a stretch. Maybe you want to take a little bit of a twist. Do take a bit of time to kind of, again, look for a little bit of ease in your body. If the mind is super active, maybe part of this process is to bring some focus back to your breath as well. Maybe to slightly slow, lengthen your breathing. And you might notice that if you've been doing it for a while, that kind of change happens quite quickly. It doesn't take long, it doesn't take much time of focusing on the breath for everything to feel a little bit calmer. Although that can be a very different situation when you're not on the kind of controlled familiarity of your yoga mat. When it's in an everyday life, sometimes it can still take a bit of time. But anyway, let's chill out. So when you're ready, finding your comfortable Shavasana position, whether it's legs extended, whether it's knees bent, make sure you're warm enough. Wherever the arms are resting, unless you like to have them resting on your body, the arms are resting on the floor, palms up toward the ceiling. Eyes closed. No particular control over the breath, just letting the breath move freely. And trying to keep just gently focused on your breath or aware of your breathing. It's that that's going to keep us in the present moment. Anytime that we're lost in our thoughts, we're either kind of reliving, remembering the past, or we are planning for the future. We're not present in this moment, and it's the breath that will help us to find that. go of any thoughts you become particularly involved in. Letting go of them, bringing your attention back once again to rest on your breathing. And once again, bringing your attention back to your breath, noticing how your breath feels as it moves through your body. Maybe breathing deeper, maybe taking some sighs. Whenever you're ready, bringing movement back into the body. Any way that feels good. Trying to stay present in your practice. In these final moments, sometimes that's when we really start to kind of feel the pull of the mind to get on with the next thing, to engage with something else. See if you can keep that connection to your practice, to your breath, the sensations that you're feeling. As you start to make your way gradually to a comfortable seat. As always, there's no rush, but when you do get there, finding a comfortable position, eyes closed. Having a moment perhaps to tune into that weight, that surrender, that downward energy. Where do you feel it? Maybe it's jaw, shoulders, hips. And then see if you can connect with that gentle upward lift. Effortless float, perhaps of the spine. We've always got opposing energies, opposing movements, opposing thoughts perhaps. And they'll continue to fluctuate depending on what's happening in our body, in our day. But if we can be a little bit aware of those opposing forces, opposing sensations, then perhaps we'll gain a little bit more control over being able to find a more comfortable balance, or returning to a more comfortable balance when things start to change. But well done, you guys. I feel like I said a lot of words today that were perhaps not useful, but hopefully there was some sense that was made. Well done. Have a lovely weekend, great week, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.